All right. So welcome everyone. Sorry. Yeah. So welcome everyone to today is the first info session we're having for the cohort 10. We are always very excited for the opportunity to speak to also work with entrepreneurs, passionate entrepreneurs from Tanzania, and through the develop program, we've been able to connect with over 31 of entrepreneurs building interesting and scalable companies. And we are very happy to open up the call for cohort 10. I'm sure like most of you are really keen to want to hear, or you have your questions as case may be. So that's why we always have this kind of sessions to give you a whole bit of a highlights about what the program is all about and what you should expect across the from the call for application to the IC approval as case may be. So before we get started, I will introduce the implementer of the project, Nicholas from DG, who is implementing the project. And also after that, he will introduce himself and maybe give a highlight about the program. And then we will have Thomas from Visvoy, our partner for supporting locally to implement the program here in Tanzania. And my team, then we'll get started. So I'll give it to Nicholas.
Thank you so much, Francis. Very much looking forward to this session and tackling all those questions you might have. My name is Nicholas Fischer. I have been with the program for around 5 years now. So basically, cohorts 1 to 10, I have been part of. Seen a few or a lot of companies, which is probably also my highlight, being able to work with so many individual companies. We just now with cohort 9 crossed the 100 companies that we have invested in. Big milestone for us as a program. Tanzania always has been it has shown a really nice development in the past years with regard to the startup ecosystem. Also thanks to Francis. I think he's the biggest facilitator of that. But really seeing how at the beginning, around 2.5, 3 years ago, starting in Tanzania, we had a more agriculture-focused program. And nowadays, we are also receiving health tech companies, fintechs, companies innovating around taxes, etc. And that has been really a nice development with also more investors being pouring money into the ecosystem. Although this has slowed down in the recent months and or recent year, but I think generally a really nice development and then one of the highlights for me specifically in Tanzania. Thank you so much. Handing over to Thomas. I think because of the background, you can probably see that we're in the same room. So I'll mute myself.
Thank you, Nicholas, and welcome to you all. My name is Thomas van Helen, and as also mentioned by Francis already, I'm with VC4A. We are not only helping with the implementation of develoPventures in beautiful Tanzania, but also in Rwanda and Kenya. Looking forward to answer any of your questions today. And also, please don't hesitate reaching out to our team in the coming weeks in case of any issues or things you want to clarify around your application for develoPventures cohort 10. Over to you, Francis. Or do we have me? No, you don't have me. No. Over to you, Francis.
All right. Thank you very much, Nicholas and Thomas, for the introduction and also providing the highlights about the program. So for people, for the entrepreneurs on the call, we really want to kind of hear your thoughts. If this is your first time of engaging with develop, we'll also kind of pour out some information about develop, and you got to learn about it. For others, maybe this is not your first time, you have some kind of burning questions. please do well to ask them. Maybe you can actually put in a chat box, or you can be able to raise your hand, and we'll make it as much as interactive as possible. So over the next couple of minutes, we'll be looking at develop. As Nicholas has mentioned, Tanzania develop program has supported over about 31 entrepreneurs or companies through catalytic capital, and also providing what I see like is very special to me, the expert guidance, the technical assistance. I think that's also one of the strong uniqueness that the program has brought into the ecosystem. So I am quite very passionate about the program. So sometimes I will talk a lot more about some of the benefit that we've seen our portfolio companies get from the program. So Develop Ventures actually offer catalytic capital, expert guidance, and growth opportunity for startups to scale. We are looking at startups that have innovative business model and also having very long-term and sustainable impact in emerging markets, of which Tanzania is one of them. So how the program is being structured, it offers end-to-end capital, capacity, and connection, because you get access to non-dilutive capital at the matching fund level, but which also help you to start, validating your business with other investors. And also you get a very tailored technical assistance that help you to really maneuver some of the frictions or challenges that you have in your businesses to allow you to scale really quickly. Within the presentation, we'll also talk about, some of the success stories that we've got providing these TAs to companies. And also you also have opportunity to, join a very broad, growing, fast-paced portfolio companies. You got to connect, access market, also follow investors that really believe in our portfolio. So we already have done some introductions. This is the implementing for developing Tanzania. We have a very important partners, DG Impulse, who are implementing the program. And together with VC4A, we are supporting the local implementation here in Tanzania. Of course, you can find myself on the call, and Jasmine is on the call. Thomas is on the call as well as Nicholas. For the ones that get to go through the application and you're able to make it to the due diligence, these are some of the faces you are going to interact with when you have like site visit, or you get to engage throughout the process. So the program, like I was mentioning earlier, the program gives the opportunity to be able to unlock 100,000 euros non-dilutive capital in a matching fund process. And also you have opportunity, matching fund model, also you have opportunity to receive follow-on funding up to 200 euros in phase B. The capital you get here can also help to validate what you are building. You have a de-risking fund, but at the same time, it helps you with your runway. And because it's a matching fund, you get to engage other investors, and it helps to really grow investor appetite in your business. So that's also one of the things that you get when you're part of a portfolio, when you're able to receive 100,000 euros from develop. And the other critical aspect, which is a very core value that entrepreneurs also get from this, is a tailor-made technical assistance. Like I mentioned earlier, this is very personalized in a way that we really tackle some of the pressing issues that you face. So nothing like generic support. It's like one-on-one. We come to you, we look at the business process, we look at your systems, we discuss with you to understand where do you have glitches, frictions, what is really hindering your scale, and we bring in top experts to support you to really re-engineer those processes and make it easy for you to really reach your next milestone. This also covers, very technical aspects like legal support to IPs and global standard, as case may be. Some of our portfolio have used this opportunity to really, first of all, raise, their follow investments. Some have actually used it to get their TBS or ISO, as case may be. So you have opportunity to leverage on the technical assistance to rework or remodel or redesign your ability to be able to scale. So whatever it could be technically, that's what we support. Currently, the program is available in Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania under DG Impulse, and also is in other markets like Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, as case may be, which is implemented by GIZ. Just following with what Nicholas mentioned, this is the 10th cohort. Really exciting journey for the past 5 years, and we've been very privileged to be part of it for the past 2.5 years. Across this 10 calls, develoP has invested in over 100 entrepreneurs, and 38 of them have received full-on investment. So the design, you have phase A, where you receive 100,000 euros catalytic capital, and you also stand or have a potential or a chance to be able to move to phase B, which you can receive up to 200,000 euros. Within this period, develoP has deployed more than 15 million euros to these companies. And at the back of this, to really portray the investor trust in the program, these companies have gone ahead to raise more than 42 million euros full-on investment. So if you are looking for, where do you want to validate, build credibility for your company, you are looking for a place where investors are looking to put in their money, I think develoP is where you want to be, because not like I'm kind of bragging, but in Tanzania, the portfolio has really attracted investors' interest, and you could see that develoP has, in fact, the most performing portfolio in Tanzania when it comes to growth at a scale. When you talk about regional recognitions and scale, when you talk about investor interest. So all of these are really built around because of the credibility of the program. And that also helps, that has made a lot of investors to want to, do follow-on to our portfolio companies. So what are we looking out for? So this basically will answer some of your questions. I know sometimes we're asking, what are the criteria? What are the things that I need to look out for? What are the minimum things that I need to get to be able to qualify? So basically, you should be generating revenue at least at the proof of concept level. So just to ensure that the demand, you are solving an actual problem, people are willing to buy, as case may be. So that's very important for us. We also want to understand that you already engaging other investors, because it's a matching fund. So it won't really kind of make sense that you get approved by develoP Ventures, but you don't get any other investment. So you can't be able to take that, you can't unlock that capital. So it's always important that you are already in talks with either you've received investment not less than 6 months ago, or you are in talks with other investors that are looking to invest in your company. So that's also a very strong requirement that we'll look out for. You have not raised more than 2 million euros in your fundraising efforts, and you are locally registered, and you are for profit in Tanzania. So you must have a legal entity in Tanzania, and you are for profit. develoP do not invest in non-profits. You should also actually have at least one financial statement, audited statement. That means we should be able to say historical operation for at least for 1 year for your business for you to qualify to apply for develoP. We also want to see that you have a very sound business and financial plan, tying your financial model to business strategy and showing how viable your business model can look like. Also have a good prospect for scaling your operations, and we also want to see that there is a very strong impact indicators that your business is taking, especially the ones attached to SDGs. So these are some of the requirements that you have to meet for you to be able to qualify to apply for develoP. So on the matching fund aspect, since you are receiving 100,000 euros from develoP, we also require you to bring in 100,000 euros from other investors, of which out of that 100,000 euros you are going to get from other investors, 50% of them has to be equity investment. Then the rest can be a blend of debt and grants, as case may be. But also the debt has to be a very a moderate type of debt, not a debt that attracts very high interest, because it becomes very difficult for you to pay back. as case may be. So those are some of the things that we look at in the beginning for eligibility criteria if you want to apply to develop. So the process, develop opens up twice in a year. We have one which opens up on the 15th of April to 31st of May, and the second for the year opens up on 15th of November to 31st of December. So we are now in the second call for 2025, which we've opened, and we're now in the first step, which is the call for application. So I always mention to our companies, you don't have to wait until 30th of December for you to start working on your ideas. Tanzania, we are very used to waiting for deadline. We start submitting 11:55 p.m. By then, you might not know if internet issues, computer issues, technology cannot be predicted, right? So don't wait until deadline. And also when you are a deadliner, you won't have enough time to really review your application. So having at least 30 days or 35 days to do your application guarantees you quality, because you have ample time to go back to your application, to review it, give to your partners or advisors to take a look. Anything you might have missed out, you have enough time to look at it and work on it. So I will always advise everyone, if you have not started your application, after this info session, please do well to start your application so you have enough time to work on it. Then step 2 is always on the pre-selection, where we review all of the documents shortlisted. And from there, we're able to now select the ones that are coming to the pitch interview, which is on step 3. So on step 3, we work on a very basic data room at that level. You put all your documents together, and you get opportunity to speak to the develop team for an hour to kind of present your business. And we get opportunity to also ask you some questions that we must find out from the application. And from there, we'll be able to make a decision on companies and move ahead to the due diligence. So the due diligence is where we have a physical one-on-one. We come do a site visit. We come to your premises. We visit your customers. We want to kind of get a better overview about your business operations. So that also helps us to make the right decisions of the companies that move to the documentation stage, which is the 5th stage. So on the documentation stage, we work with companies as well to start creating investment documents. We'll look at your business model, you're looking at your creative financial model and all of the indicators. This also helps to create documents that develop gets to present to the investment committee, who makes the final decision. And then after that, contracting follows. When you're able to show proof of matching funds, then develop get to disburse at least 80% during 80% to you at the beginning, which then meant 20% at the end of the phase A. So just to kind of give a clarity here, you can see there are different stages, and these stages come with different experiences. And until you get an email that IC has approved your proposal, your approved for award, then you've not gotten it. So every other stage, you might be able to get that you are moved to the next stage. Just to be aware that until you get an approval from the IC, that is only when you can be able to go into the portfolio. I just want to also kind of make a bit of share some of my experience here. Is that when it comes to stage 3, if you are selected to go to the pitch, it's very advisable that you start working on your strengthening your business model and developing your financial model. You can engage an expert at this level because you want to kind of think through your financial model at the back of your business strategy. This makes it easier for you. It also makes it easier for every other person when you move to the next stage. So we expect that for these processes, at least for me, is that every other stage you get to is a learning experience. Even if I know you are targeting, you want to get to the IC approval and all that, I want you to be able to understand that each of these steps gives you a great experience on building your business. So when it gets to step 3, when they're saying create a data room, make sure you do it very well, be intentional about it. That is itself is a very big experience for you. The same to due diligence, the same to documentation. All of these are very incredible experiences, I mean, for every founder. So I want you to kind of take them seriously and step by step. This is some of the sample of portfolio companies that are under develoPVentures. Tanzania is fully represented across all of the sectors. So that shows how robust our portfolio company is in Tanzania and how we are also very diversified. From health tech to clean tech to food agriculture and sustainability and finance, you will actually be able to find companies that you have come across in Tanzania. From that one to Medicare, to Haniji, to Golden Port, non-feed, these are very incredible companies shaping the future of Tanzania. And I think that's where develop also add value to them, supporting your journey as you continue to grow to redefine or rethink your markets in Tanzania or beyond. So yes, I've been talking about these things for a while. In Tanzania, I don't think, except for the ones that have not come across develop before, I don't think develoPVentures requires another introduction or why you should apply, because the success stories just speaks for itself. You know, if you come across any of the portfolio companies, if you had opportunity to actually come across any of them, you would have known the story by itself. What you get access to 100K catalytic funding that can support your growth. You also receive that customized technical assistance. You know, we have gathered a pool of experts, for industry experts, the incredible work. Imagine you and these people in your journey. Normally, people that, you know, you might not have enough resources to engage to support your growth. You can be able to, you know, find these people supporting you either through investment readiness or through market developments, or, you know, more technical aspect on legal, IP, as case may be. So that's a very strong value that you can also get from the program. Program is really trusted. Weeks ago, I was in Nigeria, and can you share? So the program itself is and actually drives appetite for investors to want to engage. So you'll be of develop portfolio, also signals investors that this is a great company and they want to put in money. So for me, I'll just say that this will, you know, 5x and S your opportunity to raise follow funding if you're in the portfolio. And you also have access to wide, powerful network of entrepreneurs, ecosystems, stakeholders. If you're a fan, there's always someone that you can also be able to provide. So this is, you know, some of the things that you get being part of the portfolio. So this is just some of the incredible companies that we have. You can see all of them have very unique testimony to give, either going from transforming their business model for scale, or, you know, raising investments, or some people increasing their own capacity, product capacity. Like you could see LDC with, they've grown their capacity over a year by 300%. You see some people surpassing their target revenue, target maybe. So if I give you all the 31 companies in portfolio, you see that each of them have received a significant, have got a significant impact from the program itself. There's a testimony for everyone. We can't just show them all of them here. We're going to take like 2 hours to discuss them, but of course, this is kind of a snapshot for you to see how incredible the program can be. So I will, sorry, I just want to check, Caleb, are you on the call?
Yes.
All right, cool. So just before we move ahead, we wanted to kind of share one of the portfolio companies to, you know, give you his experience from, you know, the core of applications to how the process has really shaped his thoughts and how also this has helped him in his fundraising, as case may be. Just for you to hear from the horse's mouth, then we will take it from there. So Caleb, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Francis. So my name is Kalebu. So I think for us, I think we applied twice. I think we applied the first time, and then we went to the interview stage. And then the second time I had feedback on what we went wrong the first time. But the second time we applied again, and then the application, because we applied twice, it was very, very, I tried to get feedback. So I wrote my application. I had some feedback from people like, okay, what do you think of this? So I think it was very, very straightforward. Last year, I think during the application, generally, I think we were fundraising for the company. So we are basically couple of months of runaway, and we're fundraising for a company, and really going through the develoPPP program helped us really sharp our fundraise, because we had a data room, we had other things that investors were seeing, the pitch and everything, but going through the program of the develoPPP really helped us to really polish everything, and in our outcome, getting approved for the grant really helped us in even get additional funding, because now we have already our data room polished. We understand what it takes to raise money from other investors. Sometimes just getting money from develoPPP is a vote of confidence for other investors to invest in us, and that's really helped us and the company in general. I think it's very, very immense. The application really shapes you to think deeply about your business. But at the same time, the benefit that you get from the program is highly valuable in terms of our follow-on funding. As I said, it really instills trust. But also, as a founder, you really learn a lot through the program.
All right, thank you very much, Caleb. You can, of course, you've heard from the horse's mouth how incredible it is. One thing is that if you believe yourself that you have something very interesting going on, like how Caleb has mentioned, he applied twice. So even if you apply the first time, you're not selected, and you still have that conviction that you are building something very innovative, something that could really drive impact at a large scale. We also encourage you to also reapply. And it's a very competitive program. So even if we might have very incredible companies, but we have to make decisions. But you cannot just say, oh, because I applied first time, I cannot apply anymore. You want to be able to try again and see, if you can have opportunities to make your portfolio. So ideally, this process will take between 6 to 8 months for you to get approved from a call for application to pre-selection, speech documentation until signing agreement. So for those that might have questions in terms of like how long will it will take between 6 to 8 months from application to approvals. I don't know, Thomas, if you have anything to contribute.
Thanks, Francis. No, I mean, let's open the floor for these great founders that are joining us today to let them answer any questions. And maybe Caleb, even you can put in some of your wisdom, given that you are the alumni here in the room. So please unmute yourself or put your questions in the chat.
Yeah, so I'll just be checking the chat in case there are questions, but if you want to speak, you can raise your hand and I'll give you the mic.
Hello.
Hi, Sarah.
Okay. Yes, hello. I was looking for a emoji to raise my hand, but I didn't see it, so
No worries.
Yeah, so my name is Sarah Mushali. I also come from a small startup dealing with health issues. It is telemedicine, and I think this will be our first time applying for this program. But my question is, I think Caleb tried to convince me at some point, but we haven't reached to an end. It is like there are a lot of startups here in Tanzania doing a lot of things, but for the program, you help startups to find their ways, maybe giving funds and everything. So I know there are some of startups maybe applied, but they don't really convince the program. They don't convince you to give them funds and everything. For instance, I can apply for the application based on your requirements. Maybe I do not fit on your criteria, but trying to adjust so that I can fit and get the funds and everything. So what do you think for other startups that have very good and best ideas in these African countries, but they are just maybe they failed or they cannot put their ideas into a well manner that they can convince you, but they are really good and they can be profitable to the nation. They can bring changes even to the youth. So do you have any program that maybe you have mentorship or you give education, things like that?
Thank you, Sarah. And indeed, this is very important to talk about. But I would suggest to check in with the Ennovate Ventures team maybe after the call today. Ennovate Ventures has a range of different programs, also on the early stage or the early days when getting your ID from ID to MVP, for example. But for this program in specific, we are looking towards a bit more mature companies with at least 2 years of operations. So that's where this program has a bit of a different angle to it. But thanks for addressing it, Sarah. I see another question here in the chat. Can you explain more about the 50% need to be equity funding?
Yeah, Nicholas, you want to speak about that?
Yeah, I can. So 50% of the funding, so we are investing 100K non-dilutive funding, giving you access to 100K euros of basically grant financing. And to unlock this kind of financing, you need to provide at least 50% of equity as matching funds. This has to be fresh equity, so equity that has come in since the 1st of June of this year. This can also be somewhat in the future, but part of our due diligence would then be also following up with the investors you've put in the application. You basically have to show us a signed contract as well as some proof of disbursement of these funds to your accounts, that you have access to them. And equity, we are really talking about cash equity by an investor. We obviously also understand the local circumstances that sometimes this might not be accessible early on. So if you have friends and family investing equity, or either you yourself have the means to invest some of this equity, we can also allow for that. We don't accept sweat equity or any kind of bootstrapping agreement that does not qualify as equity. I hope that that makes it as clear as possible.
Yes, thank you, Nicholas. I don't know if there are other questions from other people.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Emmanuel. Unfortunately, I didn't see the emoji for raising hand.
Okay.
I just have one question. My question is lying on a traction side. Based on these funds, how many years do you, roughly, do you prefer the business to be sustainable in terms of traction?
I mean, ideally, you already have a full year of operations for us to see that there is traction in the business, that the solution is fitted to the local context, and you're generating revenues in this case. But we are a post-revenue company, so per definition, after the first year of revenue, that would already qualify you as post-revenue. But obviously, we have a few other requirements also coming in. But ideally, you're close to closing the first year or already have closed the first year.
Okay. But how about the sustainability of the business when it comes to the assessment of the business, like whether the business is sustainable or not, like whether the business will last for the 5 or 10 or 15 years to come? How many years do you prefer the business to be sustainable?
Do you mean sustainable in already being net profitable? Or what exactly is your definition of sustainable?
When I talk about sustainability of the business, I mean like whether the business will last maybe for 5 or 10 years to come. At some point, maybe you may find like the client or the client we are targeting, maybe after some time, if you do your assessment, you'll find that maybe they won't be there maybe in 5 years to come or maybe 10 years to come. Especially when it comes to technology, like technology is evolving every day. So so at some point you can do assessment and see like this business won't last maybe for 5 years to come. So based on your criteria, how many years do you prefer the business to be sustainable and to be qualified to be funded that will last maybe for this number of years to come and it was to be funded?
I mean, ideally, we would be working with you at least for 3 years. So I think, not sure what exactly the case is that you are describing, but sustainability in terms of having at least or showing at least the business model is sustainable for the next 5 to 10 years should be given.
All right, Anna, you want to speak?
Yeah, good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening, Anna.
Yes, I'm saying good afternoon, good evening. My name is Anna Leone from Tanzania. We are from Naki Group. Sorry, I was late in joining the meeting due to an unavoidable circumstance. So maybe I will ask the question that it can take you back. I just want to get a clarification on the matching fund. Does it mean you really need a cash matching in terms of matching fund, or you can also match it in kind? That is one. But the second one is, if I have already developed, maybe my company, the investment, let's say, is like 100 USD in terms of valuation. So if you come in, means I need to have another cash on matching fund, or you can also consider what I've already invested up to now.
It has to be at least 50% equity, and you can match the other 50% with either grant or debt financing. John, we're not able to hear you. Perhaps to Richie's question in the chat, if we offer other flexible mechanisms or alternative pathways to meet these strict matching requirements, the short answer is no. The mandate of this program is to work with for-profit companies with the private sector and unlocking other equity investment and potentially also supporting you with a bigger equity raise at some point. So we're not able, or this is just the mandate of the program, and there are a lot of other programs which offer different kind of support. But that's why there is this strict matching requirement.
Sorry, I have another question.
Go on, Anna.
Hello?
Yes, go on.
Yeah, you said that the matching should be 50% on equity and the other 50% can be a debt from any financial institution. For example, me, I have the debt for last year. So can that be applied for this year if I'm applying for the fund, or the debt should be on the current year that you are applying?
The debt has to have come in since the 1st of June 2025. So no, we can't accept the debt from last year.
Okay, this is another challenge for most of our company because, for example, ours, we get a loan on last year and we apply for the fund for the last year, but we didn't get. So now we are not qualified because we cannot take that debt for this year. And it's not possible to apply again for another fund. So I don't know how can that situation be treated.
Yeah, that's a good question. But we are a competitive program where we are only able to select up to 5 companies per cohort per country. So from the, I think, average amount of applications of around like 100 to 150 for Tanzania, we will only select up to 5. And we are very targeted with the work we are doing, and try to also do quality control through that. And there are other initiatives and other funding available that might where you might qualify better. But this is then this just might not be the right program at this point in time.
Okay, the last question is, for example, if you have more than 50% equity, are you accepting, or it should be equity and fund from the finance?
I mean, if you're able to provide 100% equity matching, that's the ideal case, or even more, but our ticket size is fixed at 100K for phase A.
And this, okay, means the equity fund, it can also the investment that I have made up to date. Or also part of the equity fund should be in the liquidity in form of cash.
I mean, it has to have come in as cash at some point after the 1st of June.
Okay.
Simon, please go ahead.
I'm Simon from Lisha 360, and thank you for the opportunity for develoPPP. My question is more on the technical capacity building. Now, can you talk more about that? Maybe if it will be a course-based technical capacity building, or it will be more tailored. We would love to learn more about that in depth. Yeah.
Francis, perhaps you want to speak a little bit about that. But short answer, this is 100% tailored to your need as a company. It's an extra budget we offer for all the companies that make it to our program. So in addition to the 100K, you're receiving this tailored TA. Francis, perhaps you want to speak a little bit about, I don't know, the work you have been doing with Healthy Seaweeds?
Yeah, so the TAs are purely 100% personalized. So it's a lot more in terms of, we have a needs assessment, we assess key aspects of your business from model to system, finances, team, and all of these things. Then we also we work with you to understand, what are the critical things that you want to achieve for the next 1 year or 2 years. And from there, we work with you together to now create those key areas for TA. We target at least maximum of 2 areas so that it could be very effective for you. So for example, you're trying to say, I'm going to do a seed stage in fundraising. I'm looking at $1 million. Maybe one of the focus areas is like investment readiness. Then we will also kind of match you to an investment readiness expert to now support you to create the right documentations, investor connections, as case may be. So for example, what we did for Healthy, they are looking at, fundraising and, scaling with their margin. So we have to kind of start supporting them to start rethinking their business model from B2C to B2B, and they can focus a lot on their core work in terms of, increasing their production capacity of the raw materials and start, building a distributor channel. So with that, they could produce more. They could now be able to, increase the market share through distribution, and they could actually be able to get bigger margin in their business. So they moved from about 20 tons to 80 tons facility. They've got over almost 70 outlets as distributors. They're also looking at international market as case may be. So this also changes their whole dynamics in terms of sustainability, scale, and also the revenue, which also, it has that. So this is purely no general stuff. It's one-on-one. What works for you, what you are looking to achieve, that's where developer gets to support.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the in-depth explanation. I appreciate it. I have an additional question just to confirm on the funding mechanisms. It is 50% has to be equity, and the other 50% can be debt, but also can be grant, yes? Sorry, I can't hear you.
At least 50% has to be equity, but equity can be more than that. So you can have equity of 50%, 60, 70 as case may be, but the minimum equity for that matching has to be 50%.
Okay. And the other 50% can be a loan or even a grant.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, Cecil?
Eli, Ricky, thank you very much for your question in the chat. Please reach out to Francis via email, and we will then make sure to also give you some feedback on your online interview.
Thank you for the opportunity. Actually, my question is maybe 2 or 3. Number one, I heard of course, it's very competitive and very targetful program, and your targets, and which companies can be very impressive to invest in. My question is, what is your top targets this time? And then, of course, now it has been several rounds. It's not the first round. You already have more than 200 per country of application. You can easily spot the main challenges the startups that they are trying to face during these applications. So just to highlight, and because we just receive emails, I've been applying twice. This is my side time. We just receive email, of course, say like there's high competition, but maybe just to highlight top 3 problems which we are always making mistakes from getting the fund. That's number 2. And number 3 question is, of course, there's equity part, and that is very reasonable. For example, for a certain case, a company which have been applied, of course, apart from the fact of being competitiveness of other companies, you find that it already have a promising customer. Maybe you said we are producing a certain ton of product from 10 to maybe 100 tons. But before going to 100 tons, we need this investment. And that investment, already a paying customer need to pay if you manage to supply. And that also can also provide you even more cash out of a debit. So if the customer can provide the willingness to pay the service, if you're able to supply or to upgrade, which means you need this fund first. So as you upgrade to that step, if we can be ready to put the contract forward before end of the application, can it be used as promising factor to fund for the company? That's my question.
I'm not sure if I got the third question. Perhaps you want to repeat that after my answer again. But to the first two questions, there's no focus for this round. We're a sector agnostic program, so we're not specifically looking for a certain business model from a certain vertical, etc. And to your second question, I wouldn't say where companies fail, but rather where companies are able to or make it what's the differentiating factor. And that is obviously ownership also of traction and numbers. Financial model is a good indication of you and assumption of you understanding what you're doing with your business. The tractions obviously speak to a local fit of the solution. There should be a clear vision formulated for the following years, having a strong team and even perhaps already some kind of strong advisory board to also support your company from a governance perspective is positive. The matching funds and equity requirement is important for us because this kind of gives us external proof of also another commercial investor looking at this, having realistic views of your market. Probably in the end, it's a mix of all these things that makes you and your team a great company, great founders. And that's what we will be looking at and also, questioning throughout the process. Perhaps you want to repeat your third question. Yeah.
Yeah, my second question is like, we're a compost company. We currently produce up to 20 tons per month. We have a client who needs 500 tons per month, which we can't manage to deliver. Is ready to provide a contract upfront if we manage to deliver within 2 months, but we need the investment first. So with such kind of a situation, like we have already promising customer, already ready to put the contract upfront even before end of this application deadlines. Can such be like a promising factor which is not there in your diligence? Can that be part of additional promising factor to
yeah,
work
definitely.
with us?
I mean, this is something we would obviously question as soon as you would move forward to the due diligence stage. Then also confirming on this. I mean, if you in your application also point out that you have been raising funds and talking to investors, we will also follow up with these investors to make sure at what stage you are.
Thank you very much. So happy to hear that.
So thank you. We are on top of the time. I'm not sure if there's other questions, but we have we have a WhatsApp group we've created, so we can do. I think my colleague has put the link in the chat group. So we'll have it will be great for you to join the WhatsApp group, and you can be able to ask all your questions or application support will also be provided there. Also to get going. You can use this code. If you're on your phone, you can just get access to the application from this QR code, and you can already start working on the application. So this is the first info session. One of the best ways or great ways to kind of help you is, when you start working on the application, then potentially maybe 1 or 2 or 3 questions might come up. It's also very great for you to join the WhatsApp group, and you can also be able to ask questions. My only advice every other time is do not wait until the deadline. It might seem that there's time, but December is always very fast. It's a festive period. And so if I were you, I'm in your shoes, I would take out this time between now and first week of December to submit my applications. So you don't have to obstruct your holidays trying to find network in your village to to want to submit your application. So do well to scan the code and get the application started. You can be able to save them and continue. And we are always happy to provide support where needed. So the link, the WhatsApp group link, I think it was shared earlier. Let me look for it. Just a second. I'll share it again. Oh, sorry. Let me share it again. So I've said it. You can be able to get access to the WhatsApp through the chat. So in case of anything, we're always available 24 hours to want to support you through this journey. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Nicholas, for making time to join us. Thank you, Thomas, for your contribution. Thank you, Boy. I see Boy on the call. And we're looking forward to receiving your applications, and we're looking forward to going this journey with everyone here. If there are other startups you feel they're in your network and they're not here, and you feel this could be a very interesting program for them, please do it to also share the link with them. And we are also happy we're also happy to provide that. So the question for the WhatsApp, we will open it up for you to ask questions. We locked it last time because people were trying to post something that does not reflect the program. So we'll open it up and you can be able to ask your questions during this COF application. So thank you, everyone, and looking to receiving your applications. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.